Again, I mean, we've asked a bunch of the players this, but what from your perspective, what's the mood like in the locker room after these last two games going into the Northern Colorado game?
I can tell you briefly after the game, it's a lot of frustration, especially this last game where, we came out and we probably weren't in it in the first half, and then, we slowly chipped away and got to the point where we were in it, and it just slipped through our fingers. So I think the frustration's there, but then what's different than in the past is coming out to practice. I know you guys can't be there, but, we're coming to work every day, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and that's not something that's been there in the past. We have a loss or something like that, and you can tell it takes us a couple of days to get going, and it's not that way now. We're getting after it, and I can honestly say there's been major progress made, especially since the UW game, as far as the defensive side of the ball, and hope you guys can see that out there.
That was my question, the progress. In the second half of both the last two games,
right?
My gosh, you've looked like the best defense I've seen out there from an ISU team.
Yeah.
First halves haven't always been that story. What's been the difference of getting those third and fourth quarters to be now a full game?
Yeah, UC Davis, I think we gave up 16 points in the first half, and then UNC was 14 points. So, to me, it's like, if we're going to do that and then we play lights out in the second half, I don't know that we're playing bad defense, but I think what we need to do is limit those mistakes, not get into the locker room and say, okay, this is what we got to change and then change. I think from the get-go, if we can, come out there with the mentality that we're going to play 60 minutes of full defense, I think maybe it's, 7 in the first half, 7 in the second half, instead of, this kind of chunk yardage of points, and then, we kind of shut it down in the second half.
Coach Kramer kind of has put it on the coaching staff the last couple of weeks in those games. Your reaction to that? Do you think it's the players or the coaches that were a little confused?
As far as putting, I don't know that I agree with like that, because as a player, we're the ones out there playing. We're the ones out there that have the responsibility to make the plays. So, I think it's just about execution and, being a losing program for so long, it takes, especially those young guys, you got to get them in the right mentality to learn how to execute when the lights come on. And so I think that's just what we're struggling with right now is in those first halves is just getting the young guys to execute. And then once we do that, you guys can see that, I think it was 107 total yards offense in the UNC game second half. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, that was my question. 3 and out, almost every drive,
Right.
1 first down.
Yeah.
Does it just compound on itself as once you get that first stop, you guys looked like, nobody's beating us out here, and it looked like it was an attitude thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, UC Davis, UNC, the offense turns the ball over or they have a quick series, and I don't know if you guys realize it, we all got smiles on our faces because we love to play defense. That's the one thing about this group is we love to play defense. So anytime we get an opportunity to take the field, whether they've had a bad series, a good series, we got a smile on our face. I think that's a big difference from the past is that we're happy to go out there no matter what right now.
Speaking of the past, you didn't get to play last year against Northern Colorado.
Yeah.
You saw what they did. 2 years ago, you were here when you guys blew them out.
Right.
Now this year, what do you guys have to do to make sure you're on the winning end?
Yeah, I started 2 years ago when that was the last time we won a Big Sky game. And so, I think for me as a person, that kind of hits home that it's been that long. That's not right, So, like I said, what we've done great this week is that we haven't carried a lot over from the loss. Tuesdays and today's practice were great. We came out there, did our prep for Northern Colorado, and then had great team periods. So I think that's where we're going to win the games at, is not coming out, having taken a couple days to get into the groove of things, but, taking Tuesday's practice, getting after it, and really preparing for the game on Tuesday instead of, Wednesday or Thursday.
Lobato threw for 5 touchdown passes last year in Greeley. What do you see that, you're going to have to focus on this week to make sure 5 touchdown passes doesn't happen?
Yeah, this UNC team, they got a running back, bigger guy, so I think they're going to try to run the ball. They've been having to throw the ball because they've been getting behind in games, but as far as a secondary, I think it's our job to take away those plays and let the front 7 take care of the run. So, it's on us, and I think last week showed, they had one of the most explosive receivers, and we held him to, pretty minimal as far as big plays.